What if I told you that the little handful of nuts you've been eating, thinking they're good for your heart, might actually be hurting your joints, spiking your blood sugar, or even speeding up the aging process? It sounds surprising, does it not? But let me say it plainly. Not all nuts are your friends, especially after the age of 60, when your digestion slows, your inflammation rises, and your body becomes more sensitive to what you feed it. Now, don't misunderstand me. Some nuts are a blessing. In fact, 4 of them are nutritional powerhouses, absolutely packed with muscle-loving minerals, brain-protective fats, and healing compounds that can help you stay active, sharp, and independent. But the other 4, they could be quietly doing more harm than good. I met a woman named Judith last year. Lovely woman, 68 years old, vibrant, but struggling with constant joint pain and bloating. She was doing everything right, or so she thought. Walking daily, drinking herbal tea, snacking on trail mix. But do you know what was hiding in that trail mix? Roasted, salted peanuts, coated cashews, dried fruit bits soaked in sugar. Once we removed those and replaced them with the right kind of nuts, within 3 weeks, her swelling was down, her energy was up, and she said, "Barbara, I can finally move without wincing." You see, some of the most common nuts in your kitchen, nuts you may have been eating for years, can promote inflammation, disturb your gut, or even aggravate arthritis and blood pressure. And the one that's third on the avoid list, it's a shocker. Most people have it in their pantry right now and swear by it. In this video, I'm going to show you which 4 nuts to avoid and which 4 you should absolutely be eating every day to support your muscles, your memory, and your mobility. No confusion, no scare tactics, just truth, clarity, and a little bit of science made simple. And best of all, these swaps are easy, delicious, and may help you feel stronger and more comfortable in your own body again. So, if you're over 60 or you love someone who is, stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly what to toss from your cupboard and what to keep close. Let's get started. Now, before we dive into the good and the bad, we need to talk about misconceptions. And oh, there are plenty when it comes to nuts. Let me share one I hear almost every week in my workshops. "But Barbara, nuts are healthy, right? I thought I could eat as many as I want." That, my friend, is myth number 1. All nuts are healthy. Well, no. That's like saying all oils are good, or all fruits are cleansing. It's just not true. Some nuts are sprayed with chemicals. Some are roasted in industrial seed oils, the very oils that drive up inflammation in your joints and belly. And some are so high in omega-6 fatty acids, they can unbalance your body's entire inflammatory response. Here's another one I often hear. "I only eat nuts in trail mix. It's natural." That's myth number 2. Trail mix is healthy just because it's natural. Let's look closely. Most trail mixes are full of candied fruit, sugar-coated nuts, and excessive sodium. That sugar spikes your insulin, and the salt triggers water retention and blood pressure swings. What you think is helping you snack smart might actually be stressing your heart and kidneys. Let me tell you about George, 72, ex-firefighter, big hands, bigger heart. He came to me confused. He was eating mixed nuts daily and still battling swollen fingers and stiff knees. Turned out his mixed nuts had honey-roasted peanuts, cheap seed oils, and more sodium than a bag of chips. We swapped them for raw almonds and walnuts. Guess what? 2 weeks in, his wedding ring fit again. His grip strength improved. His face even looked less puffy. Another myth I hear? I buy roasted nuts because raw ones upset my stomach. Now that one can be true if you have trouble digesting raw nuts. But here's the key. It's not about raw versus roasted. It's about how they're roasted. Dry roasted? Fine. But oil roasted? Especially in sunflower, canola, or soybean oil. That's a recipe for inflammation, joint pain, and gut imbalance. Always check the label. And finally, nuts are low in carbs, so they're safe for diabetes. Not so fast. Some nuts, especially cashews, are surprisingly high in carbs and sugar-forming starches. For seniors watching blood sugar, cashews might not be your best friend. So, what's the takeaway here? Just because it's called a nut does not make it healing. Just because it's crunchy and comes in a healthy-looking bag doesn't mean it supports your body. Wisdom is in the details, and that's what we're going to uncover step by step. Coming up next, the 4 worst nuts for people over 60, and the surprising reasons why they could be holding back your healing. Let's dig in. Now let's talk about the troublemakers. These are the nuts that look innocent enough in the snack aisle. But for those of us over 60, they can quietly stir up all sorts of problems, from joint inflammation to blood sugar chaos to gut discomfort that lingers all day. So let's start with the biggest surprise on this list. 1. Cashews. Now I know a lot of people love their creamy texture. They're rich, smooth, and feel luxurious in trail mix. But here's the truth that gets swept under the rug. Cashews are high in phytic acid, a compound that binds to minerals like zinc, magnesium, and iron, making them harder for your body to absorb. And if you're already low in minerals, and most seniors are, this just makes things worse. Cashews are also one of the highest carb nuts. One handful can have over 9 grams of carbs, which is more than a slice of white bread. If you're watching blood sugar, that's not good news. Better swap raw almonds or macadamia nuts. Lower carbs, more minerals, and much easier on the digestive system. 2. Peanuts. Yes, I said it. Technically a legume, not a nut, but most people lump them in. So let me explain why they don't belong in your senior snack bowl. Peanuts are one of the most highly sprayed crops with pesticides. They also carry a high risk of aflatoxins. That's a type of mold toxin that grows during storage. For seniors with weaker digestion or compromised liver detox, these toxins can quietly build up, causing fatigue, bloating, skin issues, and even inflammation in the joints. And let's not forget, peanut butter often comes loaded with added sugar and cheap oils. Even the natural ones can be problematic. Better swap walnuts, rich in omega-3s that actively reduce inflammation. 3. Honey roasted. Anything I see this a lot. But it's just a little honey. Friend, let me tell you something. That little honey often comes with added cane sugar, syrup, and industrial oils, a perfect storm for inflammation and blood sugar chaos, especially if you're struggling with knee stiffness, brain fog, or midsection weight gain. Those sweet nuts might be the sneaky culprit. Even a quarter cup can contain 10+ grams of sugar, which is about 2.5 teaspoons. Would you eat that much sugar straight from the spoon? Better swap dry roasted almonds or hazelnuts with cinnamon if you want a touch of flavor. 4. Flavored or salted. Mixed nuts, especially in cans. Let's look at the label. What do we usually find? Vegetable oil, canola, corn oil, maltodextrin. Natural flavor. That's a chemical cocktail you don't need in your bloodstream. And the salt? Often sky high. For anyone managing high blood pressure, fluid retention, or kidney issues, that extra sodium is doing more harm than good. One of my students, Miriam, bless her, was eating heart-healthy mixed nuts every afternoon. Turns out, they were coated in hydrogenated oil, and MSG. Her ankles were constantly swollen, and her hands ached. We switched her to unsalted Brazil nuts and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. 2 weeks later, she could wear shoes without discomfort. That's no small thing. Better swap raw or dry roasted, unsalted single-ingredient nuts. Simple, safe, clean. Now, I am not telling you to fear food, but I am telling you to respect it. Know what you're putting into your body, and whether it's helping you or quietly holding you back. Coming up next, let's talk about the 4 nuts you should absolutely be eating, especially if you're over 60 and want to protect your joints, support your brain, and regain lost strength. These are your allies, and they might surprise you. Now that we've cleared the pantry of the troublemakers, let's shine the light on your nutritional superheroes. These 4 nuts are not just safe, they're powerful medicine when used the right way. Ready for the good news? Let's begin with one of the most misunderstood heroes. 1. Walnuts. The brain booster. Have you ever noticed how a walnut looks like a little brain? That is no accident. Nature often leaves clues, and walnuts are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, especially AALA alpha-linolenic acid, which supports cognitive function, mood, and memory. For seniors struggling with brain fog, forgetfulness, or mood swings, walnuts are a smart snack. Literally. They also reduce inflammation systemically, which makes them excellent for your joints and heart. Real story. One of my students, Harold, age 78, started adding 4 to 5 walnuts to his morning oatmeal. He used to struggle with low energy by noon. After 3 weeks, he told me, "I feel more focused." And I actually remembered my grandson's name without that awkward pause. How to use. Eat raw, chop into salads, or blend into smoothies for a creamy, nutty flavor. 2. Almonds. The muscle defender. Almonds are little armor packs of magnesium, vitamin E, calcium, and plant protein. Magnesium is key for muscle relaxation, nerve function, and cramp prevention, especially for seniors dealing with night cramps or restless legs. And here's what's beautiful. Just 10 to 15 almonds can give you a midday energy lift without the sugar crash. Life example. Margaret, age 66, told me she was constantly tired in the afternoons, swapped her granola bar for almonds and a slice of apple. Boom. More stable energy, less joint stiffness, and she stopped falling asleep mid-Sudoku. How to use. Snack raw or dry roasted, unsalted, or chop over roasted veggies for a crunchy, nourishing finish. 3. Brazil nuts, the hormone helper. Brazil nuts are rich in selenium, a trace mineral many seniors are severely deficient in. Why does that matter? Because selenium supports the thyroid, boosts the immune system, and acts as a powerful antioxidant, especially for reducing chronic inflammation. 1 Brazil nut a day can meet your selenium needs. Yes, just 1. They're that powerful. Real life. Thomas, 71, had thinning hair and brittle nails. His labs showed low thyroid function. We added just 2 Brazil nuts a day to his diet. 3 months later, hair thicker, nails stronger, and his T3 levels bounced back. How to use. Eat 1 to 2 per day, no more. Too much selenium can backfire. It's potent. 4. Pistachios, the blood sugar stabilizer. This one surprises people. Pistachios are not only tasty, they're loaded with B6, which helps regulate blood sugar and improve mood and sleep. They also have a unique combo of fiber, protein, and healthy fats that help stabilize energy and keep cravings away. 1 small handful can actually lower blood sugar spikes after a meal. Example: I once told a pre-diabetic client to have a few pistachios after her rice-based lunch. She laughed, but 3 weeks later, her blood sugar readings flattened out, and she felt fewer post-meal crashes. How to use: choose dry roasted, unsalted pistachios. Add to a small snack plate with veggies or low GI fruit. So, let's recap. If you're over 60 and want to protect your brain, defend your muscles, support your hormones, balance your blood sugar, then walnuts, almonds, Brazil nuts, and pistachios are your nutritional dream team. Coming up next, let me show you how to actually use them in your daily life without getting overwhelmed and without needing to become a health nut yourself. All right, so now you know which 4 nuts are your allies and which 4 are secretly sabotaging your joints, blood sugar, and belly. But let's be honest, knowing is one thing. Doing? That's a whole different bag of trail mix. So how do you turn this nutty wisdom into a real, sustainable habit without going full squirrel mode? Here's how. Morning routine, brain and hormone support. Right after breakfast, take 1 Brazil nut. That is your selenium dose, done for the day. Then, sprinkle a tablespoon of chopped walnuts onto your oatmeal or yogurt. Boom! Brain fuel and joint support before 10 a.m. If you're not an oatmeal fan, blend walnuts into your smoothie. They add creaminess and cognition. Midday, energy and muscle. Boost feeling sluggish before lunch? Skip the crackers. Grab 10 to 15 almonds and pair them with a few cucumber slices or apple wedges. This combo gives your muscles magnesium, your nerves a little love, and your stomach a break from hidden sugars. Bonus: almonds are one of the few snacks that do not spike your blood sugar or leave you hungry 20 minutes later. Afternoon. Blood sugar and mood. Balance. About 30 to 60 minutes after lunch, enjoy a small handful of pistachios. Not only will they help flatten your post-meal glucose response, they'll give you a steady, calm energy for the rest of the afternoon. You can also toss pistachios onto a salad or even into roasted veggies. Try it with Brussels sprouts or cauliflower for a crunch that packs a punch. Evening, keep it light. This is your no-nut zone. Why? Because nuts take time to digest, and loading up right before bed can lead to bloating, indigestion, or disrupted sleep. If you're truly hungry after dinner, go for steamed veggies or a small piece of fruit. Key habit shift. Do not try to eat all 4 good nuts every day. Think of them like medicine, small doses, regularly. Even just 2 types per day, rotated throughout the week, can do wonders for your joints, brain energy, mood, blood sugar, and please, double-check your snack labels. Trail mixes love to sneak in canola oil, sugar-coated pecans, and roasted cashews with a sprinkle of salt and a side of regret. Keep it simple: raw, dry roasted, and unsalted. Up next, let's talk about the biggest myths people still believe about nuts and why they're keeping you tired, inflamed, and confused. All right, it is time to clear the air. Because when it comes to nuts, the internet has made it a circus of confusion. So let us bust 3 of the most persistent nut myths that are keeping millions of people tired, inflamed, or afraid to eat the very foods that could help them. Myth number 1. All nuts are healthy in moderation. Sounds nice, right? Wrong. This myth is like saying, all shoes are good. Just wear them in moderation. Try hiking in stilettos and get back to me. The truth is, some nuts are inflammatory landmines for older adults, especially if you already deal with arthritis, joint pain, or blood sugar swings. Your body has changed since your 20s, so the moderation rule only works if you're choosing the right nuts. Cashews and peanuts might have been fine 30 years ago, but today they could be triggering your joint stiffness, bloating, or even headaches. Myth number 2. The more expensive the nut, the better it must be. Ever seen macadamia nuts at the store and thought, well, they're pricey, they must be amazing? Here's the truth. Price does not equal benefit. Brazil nuts, dirt cheap. One a day gives you more selenium than most fancy supplements. Walnuts, affordable, brain-boosting, and anti-inflammatory. Meanwhile, some of the priciest nut blends on shelves are full of omega-6 overload, roasted in canola oil salt bombs. In disguise, do not let the price tag fool you. Let the science and your joints be your guide. Myth number 3. Nut butters are just as healthy as whole nuts. Ah yes, peanut butter, almond butter, cashew spread. Listen, I love a good smear on toast as much as anyone. But most commercial nut butters are nutritional traps for seniors. They are loaded with added sugars, hydrogenated oils, excess salt, and emulsifiers that mess with your gut. Even the natural ones often have 3 or 4 ingredients too many. If you want nut butter, make sure it has one ingredient, the nut. Better yet, go for the whole nut. It fills you faster, digests more slowly, and gives your muscles more to work with. Bottom line, if you believed any of these myths before, you are not alone. But now you know better, and your body will thank you. Up next, let us wrap up with the final easy action plan you can start tomorrow to take control of your strength, energy, and health, one nut at a time. All right, you have made it to the end, and now comes the best part, putting it into practice, because knowing which nuts to eat and which to avoid is powerful. But it means nothing if they just sit in your pantry, or worse, your junk drawer. So here is your Smart Nut action plan. Every morning, pop one Brazil nut. Just one. That is all you need for your daily selenium fix. Good for your thyroid, your brain, and your immune system. Mid-morning or afternoon. Snack. Grab a small handful of walnuts or almonds, about 10 to 12 pieces. Pair it with a few blueberries or a square of dark chocolate if you want to feel like royalty. Stay away from the trail mixes coated in oil, sugar, or mystery seasonings. If the ingredients list reads like a chemistry lab, it is not your friend. Do not touch list. Peanuts, cashews, flavored nut mixes, and cheap roasted snack blends, especially if they give you joint pain, bloat, or energy crashes. What to do? Instead, keep it simple. Raw or dry roasted. No salt, no oil, no nonsense. You are not eating like a rabbit. You are fueling like a wise, strong lion. Bonus tip, put your good nuts in a clear jar on the kitchen counter. Put the bad ones in the trash. No guilt, no regret, just progress. Because listen, this is not about turning into a nutrition saint overnight. It is about making one smart choice at a time. And if that one choice happens to be a handful of almonds over a bag of salty peanuts, you just won the day. Now go enjoy your walnuts. Give your joints a high five. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more no-nonsense health wisdom, delivered with love, science, and maybe just a few nut jokes. You've got this. You made it. And if you are still here with me, that says something beautiful. It says you care about your health, about your energy, about staying strong, steady, and independent, not just for today, but for years to come. Because this video was never really about nuts. It was about you, your daily choices, your future mobility, and your right to feel good in your own body without pain, fog, or frustration. You now know the truth. Some nuts are healing. Some nuts are harmful. And you are not too old or too late to change which ones land on your plate. So, here is what I want you to do. Step 1. Pick one good nut from today's list. Add it to your next grocery run. Step 2. Remove one of the bad ones from your routine. No shame, just swap. Step 3. Come back to this video when you need a reminder, a reset, or a little tough love served with kindness. Because this channel is your home now, where wellness meets wisdom and small habits create massive change. And if this helped you, please do this one last thing. Like this video, so the algorithm knows it is worth sharing. Subscribe, so you never miss another healing conversation like this one. Comment below. Let me know which nut surprised you most, or which one you are swapping in today. And until next time, remember, your body is listening. Your muscles, your mind, your energy. They are all waiting for that one better choice. Start small, stay consistent, and let the healing begin. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.